Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I want to address a really common viewer question pretty quickly here. And that is, Nick, when are you going to review some small everyday carry fixed blades? Actually, I thought the answer was going to be soon, but it turns out that I don't think I'm going to review them, and let me talk a little bit about why. Now, I have owned some everyday carry fixed blades in the past. I owned the Graham the Ringed Razor, as well as a Graham Custom Knife by John Graham. It was a small everyday carry fixed blade with a pocket sheath and everything. And I also owned in the past an EC Azula, a lot like this guy, except mine was the Azula 1. And I can acknowledge them to be very nice knives and very effective tools. But the thing is, every time I try and carry them, I never found them to be a good fit for me. And I really have tried. My buddy Jim, thank you Jim, actually loaned me a selection of nice, small, everyday carry fixed blade knives. And they're very, very nice in a lot of ways. And I can certainly acknowledge the utility of having something like the Azula or this little Tops guy on there, the Tops MSK 2.5. These are both excellent knives, and I can see why you might want to have one handy. But ultimately, for me, my needs for an everyday carry knife are very, very light. I'm doing things like cutting foam, opening boxes, envelopes, things like that. And on days where I need something that's a little bit more hardcore, I have folding knives that are a little bit more hardcore, like my Graham Razor or a Spyderco PM2 or something along those lines. And the simple fact, though, is that in my daily existence, there's really nothing that requires a fixed blade. And so then I'm just kind of left with some of the disadvantages of a fixed blade, which is that relative to a smaller folding knife, a fixed blade is going to be very bulky, whether it's in your pack or in your pocket or around your neck, something along those lines. There are different legal definitions that you have to think about. In some areas, I'm pretty sane in my area, but nonetheless, that's something to keep in mind. And frankly, at the end of the day, they're just not all that space efficient. And so for me, fixed blades don't make sense. Now, hold on now. I'm not saying that fixed blades don't ever make sense for everyday carry. There are lots of people who just love them. Bart of Frankie and Bart, I gather, carries a fixed blade a good deal of the time, just as a neck knife. And that's great. Have fun. Why not? And actually, a fixed blade is a really great way to get into the custom knife game, because you can get a really, really well done, high quality custom fixed blade at a much lower price than a custom folder, because fixed blades are just easier to manufacture and you can spend a little bit more time on the details. And so that is a beautiful thing. But no matter how much I have tried, I've not really found a way to get passionate or really super interested in everyday carry fixed blades. And so when I sat down to try and do reviews, like on the Azula or like on this little Tops guy or any of these other little guys, this Boca is freaking adorable. It's a little Boca Magnum guy. I didn't have enough passion. I didn't have enough interest, and it wasn't happening. So in the end, although I've enjoyed these and I'm very appreciative of my buddy Jim sending these along, this is not something I'm going to spend a whole lot of time on, and so don't expect a whole lot of small everyday carry fixed blade reviews in the future. I've got some fixed blade reviews coming up of a larger variety. Something like this little guy, your Spyderco Bradley Bowie, is going to be reviewed. I've got Mora Neve. I've got this little chisel sort of knife coming on, sort of a Mora Razor as well as a Mora Companion. And who knows, I may do some other fixed reviews, but they're probably not going to be in this vicinity because, well, like I said, for me, everyday carry and fixed blade just don't terribly overlap. Anyways, hope this was interesting. Sorry, everyday carry fixed blade guys, but I'm sure there are lots of other channels out there who can help you out and fill this niche in a way that I just don't quite have the passion to do. Anyways, hope this was interesting to you, that it fixed your needs to ask that question. But mostly that you have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.